We now open this to the floor for questions. We will take 3 questions at a time. I think it will be best if you ask your question, and if it is a question that will be collectively answered, then so be it. If it's directed to either President Ngarivhume or Advocate Sikhala, so you should specify. Okay, I'll start with you. Your name, please, and the question.
Okay, my name is Mnangagwa from the Voice of America. I want to ask Mr. Sikhala, where is the ID? Where is he speaking from?
Okay, first question. Where is Mr. Sikhala hiding?
My name is Chivhayo. From Spain International News Agency. My question goes to Ngarivhume or Sikhala. Anyone will take the question. I am going to be very, very specific here. If you approach me on Chamisa, personally to speak to you, because without Chamisa, you are not going to move your democratic issues that you are speaking, because Chamisa is what the crowd that's supposed to be behind you.
Ndichabvunza une chishona vasikhala ndida kuti you are hiding. Ndaida kunzwa kuti iye zvinezvi muri kupi uye pamakabuda muZimbabwe mainzi muri kuenda kunotsvaga kurapwa. Muri kunzwa sei iko zvino uye tinokutarisira rini munyika?
Okay, those are 3 questions. Advocate Sikhala, have you picked up the questions?
No, I only read the last one. The other 3 were the first ones. I did not get them, my brother.
Okay, the first question is similar to the last question, but the question in the first instance was from Voice of America. Where is Mr. Sikhala hiding? Can you hear me?
Yes, then the other one.
Okay.
Then the other one.
The second question will be answered by both gentlemen. The question was, have you asked Advocate Nelson Chamisa about this? It's because the impression, according to the question, is without him, this coalition, this understanding, this cooperation will be not going anyway. The last question was Murikupi Makunz was saying, since you said that you were going to seek treatment abroad. So those are the questions that we are dealing with right now.
We know what is the in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, and also, when are you likely to come back? Thank you. Over to you.
So I think I can start addressing the second question and then allow my brother Job to address
the first one. Maybe I was Sikhala where was say where we are in. I am on medical treatment. And this is Zimbabwe personal. Kwandiri kurapwa sokutaura kwandakaita handingakwanisi kuti nditaure kuti ndiri kupi sezvo vavengi vangu vachida kuti vazive kuti ndiripi uye kuti vagoona kuti nyaya dzeutano
Okay. If you can take the second question.
I will take the second question to say, have you approached the MC, Nelson Chamisa, I'm used to calling the NC, okay. So, like we have said, I think we want to be very clear to say this cooperation agreement is open to all Zimbabweans. And I think my brother Joe was talking in depth about how Zanu PF as an institution is not welcome. I think I would want to emphasize that point to say, you know, what we are not prepared to do is to perpetuate the suffering of the people of Zimbabwe. But if you are out there and you have been a member of Zanu PF before, and you are a Zimbabwean, and you feel you want to be part of this cooperation, of the coming together of the forces to fight for the good of the people of Zimbabwe, you are welcome. All Zimbabweans are welcome. The reason why specifically we have targeted Zanu PF as an institution is because they presided over the plunder of our national resources. And we want to make sure that we rescue this country from the grip of their jaws. So Advocate Nelson Chamisa, like any Zimbabwean, is welcome. Is welcome to be part of this organization. I've personally been speaking to him recently after we met at some event, and we are actually planning a meeting to discuss and see how, to just understand each other. You know, what he's doing and what we are doing. This is at a level of Transform Zimbabwe, of course, and himself. So we speak to everybody. And the idea really is to make sure that we bring everybody together. So we are welcome to it. But we are also very much aware that we don't want to build cows around a common good and a common cause. You know, we don't want this to say, okay, the Zimbabweans can't free themselves unless they have Ngarivhume or they have Job Sikhala, or unless if Emerson Mnangagwa is there. Let's move away from the idea of personalities and cows in our country. We want the people of Zimbabwe to take charge of themselves, to be able to free themselves. You know, to us, this is more about the people of Zimbabwe coalescing and coming together to fight for their good, not about individuals. So I want really to emphasize on that, to say let's move away from the idea that Zimbabwe can't be freed unless Jacob Ngarivhume comes up, or unless Nelson Chamisa comes up, or unless you have on this team, unless you have some individual, then you will be successful. Let's move away from that. We want to, but this is open to all Zimbabweans. We are stronger together. But of course, compromised forces, we are not prepared to work with them because they will abort and they will suffocate and choke the struggle. That's what I can say on that second question.
Okay, I think we can proceed to the next round of questions. Yes, if you can identify yourself and present your question.
Thank you, Gibson from the Herald. So, I wanted to find out the common issues which you are sharing with Mr. Sikhala. They have been raised by other leaders whose basis of engagement has been: one, rational disputation by Monzora; two, Professor Maduku, winners must work with losers; and recently Washman Nue saying that we are now going to engage Zanu PF to deal with issues of corruption, etc. So I wanted to find out, is dialogue part and parcel of your strategies to engage with Zanu PF in trying to address these issues? And seems you are referring to Zanu PF as the enemy number one. So I wanted to find out, how best are you going to deal with this primary enemy number one, considering that, according to the narrative, they've collapsed opposition politics, they are putting innocent people to jail, like in your case, 4 years, that was the sentence. And then Mr. Sikhala, 595 days without any notable criminal offense. So how are you going to deal with that primary enemy who also deal with you in that manner? Thank you.
Okay, did you pick up that question, Advocate Sikhala?
I was put offline a bit. I only got the last question, which says, is dialogue part and parcel of your strategy to deal with with our primary enemy? And also that people like Douglas Monzora are talking about rational disputation together with Professor Muhammad Duque and Professor Wesman Mule talking about
Okay, no, that's not the end of the world. Let's give President Ngarivhume.
Thank you very much. I will basically address the question from the Herald to say we have identified Zanu PF as the primary enemy, and how are we going to work with them, or whether we have dialogue as an option. Okay, to answer that, the question really is, what can we achieve out of the whole process? Because what we are looking at is the freedom of the people of Zimbabwe. It's fundamentally clear and critical to say, how do we deliver freedom to the people of Zimbabwe? And the reason why we're referring to Zanu PF as an institution, that they are responsible for where we are today, is common knowledge. They've been in power since 1980. And they've captured the judiciary. You have absolutely alluded to it very well. The fact that they've captured a judiciary, they send you to prison, and then you are acquitted after years struggling in poor condition in prisons. It shows that as an institution, they've captured, the state apparatus and so on. And we all know as Zimbabweans how difficult it is for us to go out to campaign, for instance, because they've closed the democratic space. So they are clearly the arch enemy or the arch rival of the freedom of the people of Zimbabwe. We're not apologetic about that. Okay, but then the question is to say, how do we engage them? And the process of how we are engaging in this whole issue is, number one, the people of Zimbabwe have to decide how they want us to engage, how they want us to take the issues forward. Like Advocate Sikhala was saying earlier on, we are consulting the people. We are speaking to them. They've identified the issues, and they want us to deal with the issues at hand. And how they want us to do that, it is welcome. We are there to provide leadership to the people of Zimbabwe. But specifically on how we're going to do that, number one, it's a matter of strategy, yes, but it's also up to the people of Zimbabwe to say, if they desire that we engage in some form of dialogue in a way, they will speak to us and inform us of how we are going to move forward. But the reason, the point remains, we are dealing with a dictatorship. We are dealing with elites who are plundering the resources of this country. We have been merciful to those who have been ruthless, actually to those who have stood up to speak out against what is happening in this country. To people like Job Sikhala, myself, and many others. We have paid a price of a ruthless regime that has refused to listen to the people of Zimbabwe. And there's no, we are not mistaken about that. But of course, we will be guided by the people, and also the process itself will be guiding us to say, how do we engage? We need a lot of reform, and we need a lot of change. We need an even electoral playing field to make sure that we are able to win an election in this country. But that comes at the backdrop of the people of Zimbabwe standing up and rising. The corruption. We all know there has been corruption that has been engineered and steered by the elites in this country, by the ruling elite in this country, by President Mnangagwa and the Presidium of Zanu PF. They presided over merciless corruption that has impoverished all of us. You see? But the question then is to say, what new things do we need to do? We want the people of Zimbabwe to define this struggle, and we are there to provide that leadership. And we'll do so without fear, and we'll do so with a lot of commitment to the cause from the people of Zimbabwe. That's what I would say in a nutshell. Democratic forces are welcome to come on board. Zimbabweans are welcome to. You see, this is issue-based. And if you resonate with the issues that we are raising, you are welcome. Let's come and work together. And other people have their own initiatives. That is okay, but we are saying let's all come together and look at these issues and see how we can move forward. And that is a steadfast commitment that we have in ourselves, and we are prepared to move forward by that.
Thank you. Advocate Sikhala, can I call you on that question?
Yeah, very clear. I think my brother Jacob Ngarivhume has correctly put it. Never again will decision be made by individual leaders. The crux of our operation is that the people will be at the center. There is no action or individual decisions that will be taken by any leader. Everything that we are going to do will come from the masses of our people. Everything, we are now the couriers of what the people of Zimbabwe want to happen in their country. Every decision that is going to be taken will be taken after thorough consultation with the masses of our people. What the masses of our people will tell us to do is exactly what we are going to do. With precision, we will not cut corners, but deal with carrying the message with the people of Zimbabwe say. But however, the thoughts of the masses of our people is that when you are dealing with Zanu PF, you must understand that you are dealing with the most treacherous and deceitful political outfit you would ever meet in the world. Their deception has been seen for many years in our country on how they have drowned many political organizations and political leaders in our country through their deception. The moment when they invite you for dinner, you must be quickly know that you are being invited to the poisoned church. Zanu PF has never been dealing with the people and citizens of our country in good faith. They always do things to advance their own tyrannical selfish interest. Even if there are men who tried it. Zapu tried it and then they were absorbed. During the period of the GNU, they tried it, but they deceived our colleagues who were manipulating the entire process for their own benefit and for their own good. So dealing with Zanu PF is dealing with the most treacherous and deceptive political animal you could come across. So the issue of dialoguing with Zanu PF is not on our table to some of us. We are not interested to be contaminated by the evil of Zanu PF. We are a complete antithesis of what Zanu PF represents in our country. Zanu PF represents evil. Zanu PF represents greed. Zanu PF represents deception. Zanu PF represents anti-people sentiments. Zanu PF represents a genocide. Zanu PF represents all evil associated with everything that has been happening in our country. So when you are engaging, I wish those people who have mentioned that they have said that they want to engage with Zanu PF, I wish them the best. I wish them best luck. Zanu PF is a deceptive and treacherous outfit, which you must treat with caution at every time when you are dealing with them. This is my answer to the question.
Okay, can I take your question? You were first. Is it a question to do with that?
No,
is it an independent question?
I was going to answer. It was interrupted.
Your first question?
Yeah, I was interrupted.
Was it a question relating to when he's coming back?
Yes, my
I said it was interrupted. The response was interrupted.
Oh, okay. I think that question is simply answered in stating that he's going to come back when he is fit since he's gone out.
But the response was interrupted. I have it for him.
You want to hear it from?
Yes.
Advocate Sikhala, I will take you back a little bit. If you can quickly answer this question. There is a question relating to how you are feeling if and when you are going to be back in Zimbabwe. If you can be very brief on that so that we can move on.
All right, like what I said, I'm very fit, as you are seeing here.
Can I interrupt you? Answer in Shona.
And my doctor said, all right. No, ndirikunzwa zvakanaka zvikuru. Sokuona kwamuri kuita pano pa-press conference yatinayo, vanachiremba vakupedza zvavanga vachiita kwandiri kutarisa nyaya dzeutano nedzokuzorora kwouruzvi nezvimwe. Kumusha ndiri kudzoka mumazuva mashomanana ari kumusha ndiri kuuya. Ndichakuzivisai nose zuva randichauya. Nepasi rose richadzisa musi wandinodzoka kuZimbabwe. Saka ndiri kudzoka sokutaura kwandaita pamazuva mashomanana ari kutevera. Handingadi kutaura dheti racho nhasi, asi dheti racho rakusvika. Ndiri kuuya kumusha. Mazvida.
Okay, so that's answered. Can I take your question, please?
There have been quite a number of coalitions here in Zimbabwe, which later
Can you try to speak up, please?
There have been quite a number of coalitions here in Zimbabwe, which later collapsed due to powers composed and alleged Zanu PF infiltration. So, what gives you confidence that yours is not going to face similar situations or challenges?
Okay, so let's take one question, get answered, and then we move on to the next question. You will be next to ask. What about me? Then you'll be next. Please, you can,
Cool. Coalitions have collapsed due to Zanu PF infiltration and so on. That's what you say. Ours is an effort coming informed by the wishes and desires of the people of Zimbabwe. They've asked us to cooperate and work together, and we are just doing that. I think, this is not a cooperation of convenience. This is not a cooperation of blunder intention. People have gotten into cooperations and coalitions for different reasons. Some with intentions of accessing resources and so on. But this is based on the need for the people of Zimbabwe to come together, to act and get themselves out of a situation. What we are trying to do here is not child's play, or this is not an opportunity for anybody to get names or to get money or to access anything. This is an effort to come together and make sure that we make things right in the country. And there's huge consequences that could come with it. As already we've discussed in this press conference, we know the regime that we are dealing with, it may end us imprisoned again for no reason and so on. So this call is completely different from what has happened in the past. This is a cooperation of two separate organizations to say, okay, fine, you are the National Democratic Working Group, you are Transform Zimbabwe. We've identified the common issues. Let us come together. So this is issue-driven, issue-based, and we feel and are hopeful that because we have found each other and because we are glued together by the issues and the need for us to fight for those issues, then we should be able to see through to the freedom and achievement of and attainment of our goals that have been set before us. So the people of Zimbabwe again will do everything that is possible to make sure that we stay together, and we are prepared. This is a huge commitment. It has come as after consultation and interactions with people to say, why can't your organizations come together and fight for us on A, B, C, D issues? And we're just prepared to do that. And it is our faith and belief that we'll see it all through until the end. Thank you.
Advocate Sikhala, can you come in on that question?
The issue that how are we going? What measures are we going to put in place to deal with issues of infiltration? Infiltration has been a concept that has been applicable since time immemorial. Down the centuries, unpopular regimes have been using the tactic of infiltrating their opponents to destroy them. Without that, we understand the character of our primary enemy, that it deals with infiltrating and trying to destroy opposition political organizations. Even during the period of our own liberation struggle, infiltration was also used as a tool, an instrument to destroy political organizations. Nowhere if the people in a struggle not faced the challenges of infiltration, we will not be an exception. They will try to infiltrate us. The way how we are going to respond and deal with infiltration is the one that will distinguish us, whether we have a plan already. We have got a plan to deal with infiltration. And that plan is comprehensive and exhaustive. So anybody who wishes that he will infiltrate us must be warned. The game is over for infiltrators. We will not be very kind to infiltrators. We will decisively deal with them in a manner all other sellouts and those who want to destroy the wishes of the people have been dealt with. We will have a decisive response to any intended to infiltrate. We are not going to have mess.
Okay, can I proceed by taking your question, please? Okay, I know that's a issue of signal performance. There's nothing we can do about it. It's not an act of any
tinogona kuti muchiri mutsva achangobva ukandwa muchirongo nzira yamada kufambai mataura katatu muchiti vana vezimbabwe vanoda kusunungurwa vebato rinotonga vanozviramba kuti zimbabwe haina kusununguka. Vanhu vakatosununguka zvakanyanya uye vanogona kusazvibata zvakanaka matauriro amuri kuita aya. Hamusi kutya here kudzokera muchirongo munopindura nechishoni uye panoita sekuti hamusi kuwirirana. Ava vari kuti isusu hatimbofi kuda takataura neZanu PF. Imi muri kudzoka moti aiwa kana vanhu vakati ngatitauriranei tinoda. It's an option nokuti maoptions ese aripo patepo. Hapasi patotanga nyonga here pa ipindurewo nechishoni.
Chekutanga ndinofunga hapaite kusanzwisisana. Hapana patati zvachose tinotaurirana neZanu. Ngazvive clear izvozvo kuti hapana patati.
Am I audible?
yes, you are, but we have proceeded.
Am I audible?
Can you hear me?
I'm not hearing you. It was silent. Was my answer to the question captured?
Yes, it was, and we have proceeded. So the question that has just been asked was asked in Shona. Would you be kind enough to represent your question?
Yeah, umwachongwa kwanga vatapindura ndachiti Sikhala hamusi kutya here kuti mastatements amuri kutaura aya anogona kukudzoserai kwamakabva musuno nenyaya yekuti yamuri kuti regime iyi yamuri kudhila nayo mati munoziva zvainoita uye mukataura mukati havazenguriri kuita zvose kuti varambe vakadzitsvakata saka hamusi kutya here kuti muchakandwa kuseri zvekare.
Alright, saka
chandataura apa ndechipi chandataura apa ndakotaura nyaya yekuti ma-infiltrators anenge asiri Zanu vanengari tisinodhilana navo saka vakatsamwa kuti tadhilana nama-infiltrator kwe vane basa nazvo.
Okay,
zvinasungisa izvozvo kuti tinodhilana navo zosungisa kuti tatishati kuti tinodhilana navo.
Okay, Advocate Sikhala, I will now allow President Ngarivhume to take over from that response. Thank you.
Alright, saka ndakachiti chekutanga mwana wamai hapana patati isusu tichataurana neZanu PF ende uye hatikumbiri ruregerero pakutaura kuti Zanu PF ndo iri pakati pekutambura kana kushungurudza kwevana veZimbabwe. Zanu PF ndo vari kutonga kubva 1980 hapana rimwe bato ratonga ende ndo vari kudzvanyirira vanhu zvavo zvokuti vana veZimbabwe vakatosununguka vakagarika vakasununguka ndivo vashoma vari kutonga nekutungamira kana kunyange vatsigiri vavo vanotsigire Zanu PF chaivo vanotoida nemwoyo wavo vanotambura zvakanyanya vanhu vanosina kana chavanacho. Saka nyika inofanira kusununguka kwechokwadi kwekuti vana veZimbabwe vawane upfumi hutakapiwa naMwari vakwanise kukuwana. Saka isusu chandanga ndataura ndechekuti aiwa isusu tiri kuti vana veZimbabwe ndo vachadefina kuti tichafamba so tobva apa tichaenda uko nekoko. Asi ndinowirirana navasikala handitarisire handifungi kuti vana veZimbabwe vangati nzira yavangada kuti tirwe nayo pakurwisa uko imwe yacho inge iri yekutaurirana neZanu PF. Handifungi kudaro, hatifungi kudaro. Ini maonero angu ndekuti vana veZimbabwe vari pachena pane zvavanoda kuti tidhile nazvo neZanu PF. So that's the first thing. Chechipiri, hamutyere kudzoka kwamaive pataive uku hakuna kunaka zvachose ende hakuna munhu anokurarama mutorongo. Nguva yandakararama mutorongo, imagine kuti ndakagaramo almost a year ndisina kana access, usina kana chimbuzi, hamuna kana toilet, hamuna chekudya, unonga wakavharirwa mahour 18 pazuva. You know, it's pathetic. And even kungoona bedzi chimwe chinhu chandakabva nacho chakandishungurudza kungoona kutambura kuri kuita vana veZimbabwe vari kumatorongo. That is excruciating torture to witness that and see that every day like we did. But mubvunzo wedu kana nyaya yedu iri pakuti zvino kana vana veZimbabwe vachida kusunungurwa totya here togare kudzimba dzedu makungo zvaakatya akafa mangani. Hatifanirwi zvachose kutya. Point yedu iri pakuti aiwa pane munhu anofanira kusimuka, pane vanhu vanofanira kusimuka kuti vadhile nemaissues ari at hand. And hapana chatiri kuita chinosungisa. Sekutaura kwandaita, I've said you will be guided by section 59 through to 61 of the Zimbabwean constitution. Saka hapana chinhu chiri kunze kwomutemo chatiri kuita. But vanhu vatiri kudhila navo vanhu vane utsinye vasingadi kuone vana veZimbabwe vachizva express themselves. Even unyari kumba kwavo sezvandakaita, they can still come here and pick me up and concoct a completely fictitious charge against me. We are very much aware of that. But that hazvina kutisa pakutya izvozvo. Saka point yangu yatoda kusikisa ndeyekuti hatitye 1 2 hatina chatiri kuita chinotyore murawo weZimbabwe. Tiri vanhu vanoteedzere murawo zvakanyanya. Saka as long as tichiteedzere murawo, then what they do to us is none of our business, because they are ruthless and they can do anything. But isusu hativhunduswe ende uye takashinga ende ticharamba takagaidwa nemutemo wenyika yeZimbabwe unotitendera kuti tiite fight for our rights. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take your question, please.
In your earlier submissions, you mentioned that the mandate to address corruption and economic issues, crackdown on the democratic space, comes from the mandate from the people, that you are going to engage the people. I think you and Sikhala both agree that it comes from the people. Now, should you engage the people and the people decide that we want protests, you want to go to the streets. Are you going to, knowing our current regime does not have an appetite to entertain protests, are you going to lead from the front, no matter the consequences, those protests? If the people say, no, we want protests, for us to address these issues. That is the question.
Cool. So I'll answer this and ask my brother Sikhala to also come into that. If the people say we want to protest, you know, like I've said over and over, Section 59 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe allows for protests. There are guidelines within the constitutional framework that allows for protests. That is not illegal for the people of Zimbabwe to protest. The fact that the regime does not entertain protests shows that there's something wrong with it. It's a crooked regime. Because protests are provided for in the Constitution. And if the people of Zimbabwe say, okay, we want to protest, we are very much prepared to lead from the front. I mean, we don't want to send the people of Zimbabwe to places that we can't be. We don't want to ask them to go into the streets whilst we are basking in the comfort of our homes. And in any case, there's nothing comfortable in our homes anymore, because everything comfortable has been destroyed and plundered by corruption. So we will be guided by what the people of Zimbabwe want. And of course, we are not made of cheap steel. We are not violent. We are not advocating for violence. We are calling for peaceful engagement in terms of what the people of Zimbabwe want. If it is there in the Constitution, then it's fine, we'll do it. But of course, should they arrest us again, should they harm us in any way, we are equally prepared internally to deal with whatever comes. But of course, we will respond to the call of the people of Zimbabwe as guided for in the Constitution of Zimbabwe. They will not ask us to do something or anything that is outside the Constitution.
Advocate Sikhala, thank you. Advocate Sikhala, did you capture the question and what is your response to that?
I got the question that if the masses of our people ask us that they want to protest, like what I earlier said, all our decisions are going to be people-driven. We are going just to be the couriers and messengers of the will of the people. If the masses clamor for protest, we will only just be the conveyors of the messages that comes from the people. That the masses have asked us to protest. We are here at your service. We are going to be part and parcel of what you have asked us to do. And like what my brother Ngarivhume said, we will carry it out. We will be on the forefront, as we will not be those leaders who would need the masses to do everything for them while it's seated at home. We will be with the masses in their call and also partake in what they've asked us to do. So we are now going to be the couriers of what the people will say, and that is exactly what we will do within the confines of democratic and constitutional parameters. So there is nothing that will definitely stop us, as long as things that we are asked to do are within the constitutional, lawful, and the democratic four corners of our constitution. There is nothing that will stop us to carry the message with the people who have told us. If they will tell us that, guys, we need you to lead us into protests, we will do that. Because that is what the wishes of the people are. We will not be carrying our own egocentric needs, but we will be carrying the message of the masses, and the masses will be with us. So we will carry out whatever the masses, the voice of the masses will say.
Thank you, Advocate Sikhala. Okay, we will take the last round of questions. Those will be 3 last questions, and then I know you have jobs to do, then we'll call it a day. So if there are any questions, please. Okay. right. May I take this opportunity to thank you all for having attended this historic event in the coalescing of the democratic forces